Don't Tell Me My Business Media presents Vince, Chris, and John give you all the latest reviews, discussions, and news for film, television, music, books, and games, and more.
Hi, this is Vince George again for Don't Tell Me My Business Media. Let's do a recap of the week of October 26th through September 1st. Alright, first up we have, I wrote the top 10 superhero movies of mine, with the number one being the Avengers. Next came the greatest love song ever written, which I determined was, to my opinion, Unchained Melody. Something interesting about that is the word Unchained actually came from the title of a movie that the song was made for. Next up we have, by John, the worst song ever written, which he determined was Young Girl by Gary Puckett and the Union Gap. After that, we have a fan-made Batman vs. Superman trailer, and it had Ben Affleck as Batman. Now, I've been dubious of that selection myself, but the trailer looked pretty good and gave me hope where there was none before. Next, we did our podcast for 500 Mile Per Hour Storm. We had a lot of fun. There was some technical issues. Maybe wasn't the best we could put out, but it was a learning experience for all of us, and I think the next one's going to be a lot better. Then I review Jason Bateman's Identity Thief, which you can catch on Amazon streaming video. I gave that a 6.9 out of 10. So give that a watch. It's not that bad. It's pretty much by the numbers. It's a decent comedy. It's nothing spectacular, but it's decent. Next, John wrote a little piece about So Long Mom by Tom Lehrer, which is a nice little piece of dark humor in song form. Next, just a quick post about the Avengers 2 has a new villain. It's James Spader. He will be playing Ultron. Now, if you don't know, Ultron is actually a robot, and in the comics, it's built by Hank Pym, who supposedly is not in the next Avengers movie. So they're going to shift that to Tony Stark. It makes sense. If you know what he's done with Jarvis and the AI, I can see him building a suit with some new AI that kind of goes awry, and that's probably going to be Ultron. Next, I rated the top 10 movies starring Steven Seagal, or could have an appearance by Clint Howard. However, it wasn't directed by Ron Howard, because if you know anything about Clint Howard, he shows up in all of his brother's movies, but he's made some others on the side, so I wanted to throw those in there. Interestingly enough, the number one was The Jungle Book back from 1967, where he played the voice of an elephant. I would imagine it was probably a baby elephant then. Then, during this period, we actually changed host and upgraded the website, changed a little bit of the design, so I think it looks a lot better now. It gives us a lot more control. It's a little more professional, so I'm pretty happy with that change. The Guardians of the Galaxy cast is something else I posted about, and it sounds like it's going to be pretty amazing. You have Bradley Cooper, Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, Glenn Close, John C. Reilly, Karen Gillan, Benicio del Toro, and it sounds like Vin Diesel's going to be in it as the voice of Groot, which from what I understand, he's kind of like a big tree. So it might be a kind of a return to the voice that he did in Iron Giant. Finally, John reviewed World War Z, which he gave it 5.2 out of 10. Ouch, it's not a great score. The movie had all kinds of difficulties getting made, I know. One of the things about this movie is I remember seeing it, and Matthew Fox is actually in the movie. You know, he's the star of Lost. But as you watch the movie, he really doesn't have many lines. He's got about maybe 5 lines in the entire movie. It's really a strange thing. There was a lot of footage that made it to the cutting room floor, and apparently he was in a lot of it. So maybe the Blu-ray release will have an extended version where you'll see more of him. Coming up soon, we're going to have another podcast. We're going to be talking about The Expendables 2, which is where action stars go to die, apparently. So we'll be doing a little bit of that. For all these stories and more, you can always visit our website, Don't Tell Me My Business Media, which is DTMMBmedia.com. That's DTMMBmedia.com, or you can follow us on Twitter at the same address. That's DTMMBmedia. So you take that, Don't Tell Me My Business, create it into some letters, throw the media at the end, and you've got pretty much all the websites that we're a part of, including Facebook, and we have a Tumblr page, quite a few. So feel free to visit us, check out the posts, give us some comments, and let us know how you feel about them. And if you have any suggestions, you can always drop us a line as well. Thanks, and I'll be back next week to recap our posts from this past week. Thanks.